In June 1970, Mother wrote the foundations of how to live both in the world and for the divine simultaneously, in How to Be a True Aurovilian. The first necessity is the inner discovery in order to know what one truly is behind social, moral, cultural, racial, and hereditary appearances. At the center there is a being free, vast, and knowing, who awaits our discovery and who ought to become the active center of our being and our life in Auroville. This ongoing series of interviews aims to explore the individual adventures and experiences of seeking one's inner or psychic being, as shared by Aurovilians and others intimately familiar with the revelations of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. How does one's quest for the inner being that is free, vast, and knowing begin? How does the discovery unfold? And how does it shape our interactions and behaviors in the world? Our invitation to participants is to be as honest and led from the heart as possible, and to avoid quotes and lectures, rather to share from their own unique experiential journey. We hope through these examples of lived experience to show that our inner being is not an out-of-reach abstraction, but is actually very concrete and knowable. And we hope they inspire you, our listeners, to consider and reflect on your own journey. Hello, my name is Carla, and I welcome you on behalf of Seeking Our Inner Being team. So, welcome, Sonja. And we're very happy to have you here with us today. We have a framework of questions, and you just share as comes to you. So we'll begin with the first question. Are you in contact with your inner being? And if so, how does it manifest for you?
I can say I'm in contact with this inner being, not in a constant way. It just comes in flashes at important moments. And the first time that I had this kind of sensation was when I was meditating with a friend that had just come back from Auroville. We had a very strong meditation, and I kind of shifted in awareness. And it was a funny situation that at one point I looked in the mirror and I had the feeling that there was this other being behind me which was directing me, quite a very strong, like bigger than me, and it was kind of had a feeling of direction. And that it had been directing my whole life and still was going on. So I came to Auroville, and the first kind of 15 years in Auroville were very tough. It was a very pioneering time, so I developed more my strength and my masculine side and practical side, became a mother. And then after 16 years in Auroville, I had this feeling something was missing. I felt I had become strong, but in my life the love aspect was missing. So I went on a special, I by chance came in contact with different teach like gurus, Sai Baba, Amrita Nandamai, and I was surprised that I started to cry at certain moments. I said, well, where is this coming from? Anyway, to make a long story short, I realized that the heart aspect had been missing. And I found even a teacher in Chennai who had developed a special method of concentrating on the spark in the heart in the meditation, like having evening cleaning of the impressions of the day and having in the day, in the morning, an hour of meditation on the heart, which was very strong. And it was really funny, even my cat was relaxing. He would come on my lap and put his head on my heart.
Ah, sensing.
It was really sweet. So I did that for about 7 years. But there was kind of an resistance in Auroville itself to be concentrated, being associated with another teacher. Anyway, and we moved on. So, but that kind of sensation of knowing, of getting in contact with, like, making that a part of my meditation was very strong. Like, you go inside, you go on the, and you basically give the direction, like, go into that spark in the sin. And then I would feel it is at one point also expanding. That are the kind of the highlights. There's also other moments. I continued still with other meditations. Like, I love to sit under the banyan tree. We go to the samadhi, different moments. And I even did a workshop with Soleil. She had developed a special method of going to the layers of the heart. First, looking at all the sensations in the body, concentrating with your breathing on the body, and then see what is stuck there, and that's normally child stuff, and clear that, going through inner child healing. And once the body is quiet, to actually go to the different layers deeper of the heart. And it was quite amazing that actually worked. And I don't want to say it worked all the time, but it definitely had some power. And I even got the training to do that, and I even went to do that with people in Italy who have no real spiritual background. And it was very profound that they managed to go that deep. So that is one method. But I kind of drifted away again. Like, I drift away in these places and out of the places, because then I got involved with council, housing service, and now this entry service. I got too focused on outside.
The material.
The practical aspiration, the practical thing. Up to kind of recently. But recently what I really want to tell also, because that was a moment very strong. I even had a picture of it. I went on a camp, like last month. I went on a camp with many people from all over India that are associated with Sri Aurobindo Society, with people from the ashram Bondi, people from Delhi ashram, and 3 Aurovilians. Like, I was a part of a bigger group, but there were 3 Aurovilians that were kind of leading the program. And they were of the so-called difficult side. But I had made a special choice to say, I'm going to be with, and I'm just going to be with it. And see how it, I was curious also. These have been friends for a long time. Why are they acting if they're acting? But actually on the first day when they were presenting, and the thing was called Oneness, I broke down completely. I was thinking, you say you work for Oneness, and here we are in this big polarization difficulty in Oroville. And I miss my grandchild that cannot come back because of the visa story. I just was one waterfall of tears.
A lot came out.
It came all out.
Yeah.
And then, funny enough, at the end of the day, there was an art class. So they asked you to concentrate on yourself, what is happening, and then try to make a painting of that. So when I was doing that, I saw myself being totally miserable, totally fed up with everything, and having the idea that I have to make a choice. I have to make a choice. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? I was trying to figure out something, but I was very, very down and miserable. And then I realized that this big figure, like this big pink figure, was standing there looking over my shoulder, and kind of looking at my dilemma. And I was like, such a comforting way. And then the next thing what happened was actually that being was kind of zooming into me, and then came this picture, It was like I was in this really beautiful pink balloon where all the other negativity and all the things, it just couldn't reach. It couldn't come in.
Yeah.
And also here there was like a little balloon of all the negative thoughts that were roaming away. And what actually happened is that I spent that whole week in bliss. And I could only just be feeling so much love and compassion for basically what, for also, and I had some very nice talks with the people that I had a difficulty with in the beginning. And it basically stayed with me for like as long as I came back to Orville and became practical again.
Yeah.
But that's what I felt like, that was there, and it was like, it's a very sweet quality, very sweet quality, and feeling totally protected
It
also.
looks like a beautiful
It's like it's
cocoon
so
of protection and light and
yeah.
beauty. Yeah.
It's like so.
Maybe we can put this on your, attach it so the viewers can see.
Yeah, if you want
when
to.
we
Yeah,
refer.
yeah. It
And-
was like that. That was so. I cannot stamp. It's like this is my psychic, but I have a feeling like as my focus, like I write. When you say what is my hobby is really to be in contact with this. Yeah. And without having to imagine it, or without having this kind of new age stuff. I know all that also, but this was like a full, real, in time of crisis, savior.
And this being, Sonja, that came when you were on this trip, is it similar, or did you have the sense that it was the same?
It was the
as
same as
when you were meditating with your friend that day?
yeah. I did, but then it was really behind me and pushing me in a certain direction. And it also pushed me into the direction to decide to come to Orville. And here it was just like he was just, this being was just standing there, kind of looking at my drama, and kind of. And then, as soon as I was aware of that, it shifted. It was like, as soon as it was there, so comforting, and so it's like the whole drama, the fears, the insecurity, it was kind of a memory of, actually this is the real reality.
And you were suddenly in this
And then
place.
it kind of engulfs me. And say, oh, it's not important. And some of the things on the outer world also shifted. Like I got a very nice little video from my daughter, and I know she is okay, you know. So it kind of shifted my whole reality in that moment. Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's as much I have on my daily routine.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've just spoken a little bit about the impact of this incident when you came back to your daily routine. And maybe you can share some more about that, or other experiences as well.
Yeah, I'm not so disciplined, but I try to really go, and I try to go and do my meditation. I did the 7 years very constantly meditation every morning, every evening, And I've drifted a little bit away from it. Now we go to the samadhi, and I open up and let just things come in, let whatever comes, but a lot is it still digesting the mind stuff.
And what about your interactions and how you go about things day to day? Do you think it's impacting?
Well, this was a major interaction that I said that I could, after that, could just relate to these people in a very... I wish I could have kept it, no, but it's difficult to keep it in order. But, yeah, it needs time. It is like, it needs nurturing, and it needs time. And I need to give myself permission to really do that in a regular way. But I know, like as I said, the first 16 years it was just like not existing. Until something on the outside, I was starting to say, well, I really attracted these people. What is so attractive of this person and that person? And then I realized that they were working on this heart. And they were doing.
And you were drawn. Yeah.
Because Sri Aurobindo says you can meditate on different levels. You can go deeper inside your heart. You can go above your head, and you can go the divine all around you. So I was preoccupied with thinking that I should go above my head. And then for a long time, and then at one point I really meditated so far above my head that I had difficulty to come back to my body. But I saw that if I actually focus my meditation with my breath into my heart quietly, and it goes very, like almost, it can almost go, sometimes it's not even from the outside but from the inside to that place. Then the mind stuff is much easier to deal with, because I'm on another space. So if you want to go find more my psychic, that's the way I do it. And that's also, I was for a long time also therapist, but I said I had this method where I was guiding people to do that, and even in Italy with people that had no experience at all. They would come into a place that it looked like psychic, and even deeper, to go into a space of the transcendental. Like that there is consciousness, but there's no more mind, there's no more mind, there's no more thought, there's no more emotions, that it comes into a pure sensation of existence. Yeah, I have all the space around me, but that's
lovely to share that.
You can do that one time. Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, so maybe you've already spoken to this a little bit too, but did you have to develop certain abilities for this exploration of yours?
Yeah, I think it's just it is always, if it happened very much into an inner concentration of a meditation or a very important moment, like that was like a real decision to make. But then it would be more covered. But yeah, I see it was almost always in a special moment. But yeah, but I said 7 years I managed to do it every day, and until the dogs and the cats, they even enjoyed it. But it needs concentration, it needs dedication. It's like you make a relationship.
Right.
You make a relationship with that inner part.
I like that. That's really nice. So you've already told us actually in significant moments.
Yeah.
And I think you began with the two.
And especially in times of panic or in times of losing faith or losing trust or losing what's going on. I can't grasp it anymore. Is all my life on the rocks. Especially these last years, the moment. But I don't have that anymore. It's now, it feels like it's okay.
Yeah.
Everything that happens, it's okay. About what you say, what about the traps on the path is when I'm just getting too involved in feeling responsible and practical. That, oh yes, I want to, no, I go.
Trying to fix things or change things.
Or the daily life, your work, my work, and then there's all the other things to do, the meetings. I want to study Tamil, and I want to do the chickens, and then there's,
the day-to-day.
The day-to-day reality. It's like suddenly, and it was nice when I was outside also. I didn't have any of that, so it was very good to concentrate. Maybe to kind of get a boost from that, it's nice to have this time out, and maybe also with a group of people to be on that space, to do it as a collective.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Like a little retreat or so. Yeah. It's nice.
That collective energy. I like it.
Yeah.
So, is there any gaps thoughts or anything else that you'd like to share that comes to you?
No, I think I told it all. But I also feel like this space to be in doesn't this inner being and psychic. It's not an exclusive situation of Orville.
Mm.
I feel I can somehow radiate on that with the special friends also in Italy or different things. I think it's almost too difficult in Orville because you have so many so many outer things you have to interact with. Of course, there in the outer world there is the other thing that is taking people's attention. But here, I have a feeling we live much more intense, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Take more responsibility for the whole, take more... Yeah, it's a big load. But still, with that aspect of the psychic of that, it makes it more... I think it's... I understand my mother said that the first thing is try to find a psychic being, because that kind of lightens the load. I would say that makes it more enjoyable. Yeah. And maybe that, because otherwise you kind of start to think you have to do it all yourself, no? And that is a heavy weight. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very, very beautiful ending to wrap up with. And we thank you very much, Sonja, for being with us and for sharing so much from your heart.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.